Not only was the official Department of Homeland Security X account exposed for allegedly being based out of Israel, but a whole bunch of user accounts were exposed, and a lot of them are MAGA, and there's a lot of reports and official documented proof that I'm going to show you that they're based out of foreign countries and not in the USA. So I want to dive in and show you guys some examples of accounts. And this one is probably one of the most prominent right-wing MAGA accounts on the platform, Joey Mannarino. He has been very flagrant and boastful about his support for Trump and anti-left and anti-Democrat, et cetera, et cetera. Well, it turns out with his, he has a fairly sizable following at about 600,000 followers. Turns out he's based in Europe. So a lot of MAGA and right-wingers were getting their talking points for someone based in a different continent altogether. So that's Joey Mannarino, as you can see here, based in Europe. And I did verify that this is true, the screenshot. Here's another one, MAGA Storm, based out of Eastern Europe. So that's likely Russia. And a lot of these have a Eastern Europe. And by the way, credit to Spencer Hakimian for sort of consolidating a lot of these that I'm going to show you. Here's another one, Donald Trump NQ, based out of Africa. I believe this one was out of Nigeria. Yep, a Nigerian scam. Here's one, Emma Brunette, who's a relationship coach, American patriot, traveler, typical MAGA type of bio, based out of West Asia. And this one I did confirm as well. Here is American, literally the username American, based out of Pakistan. So we have Pakistan representing the USA. Here, this one's just hilarious. I wanted to include it. Philippa Franson, based out of India, yet she's a Swedish blonde white girl. And obviously pro-MAGA talking points all over that account as well. This one equally as hilarious. Alma Hannah. Hey everyone, I'm from the United States, she posted. And no, she's actually from Vietnam, and that's been verified. There's actually a community note on this one. See, here's one on Tom Homan News, based out of Eastern Europe. Ultra MAGA, based out of Nigeria. The MAGA Beacon, based out of South Asia. This is one of my favorite ones. Trump is my president, based out of Macedonia. And I can go on and on with all of these. There's just so many that were ousted for pro-MAGA. Mike, what is your take on all these supposed MAGA accounts being anywhere but from the United States?
I mean, to me, it's pretty interesting to see from a distance. I don't really use Twitter or anything like that, but I'm not surprised. If the way that I think of it is, if you look back to the 2016 election, you had all these accusations of Russian bots and things like that, stoking propaganda on social media. Here you go.
Turns out it's true.
Right. And not only do you have actual bad actors who are specifically trying to sow propaganda for the purpose of subverting, our country and causing civil unrest and tension between people. But at the end of the day, you also have just pure monetization. I'm not familiar with the monetization policy on Twitter and how that really works, but I would bet a lot of these people are making money off of their followings and outraging people.
That's a great point. And actually, the way that the monetization works is the more views, the more replies, the more controversial of a post you make, the more money you make, the more eyeballs it can get. So it actually does reward, as with most social media, outrage. It rewards outrage. It rewards controversy. So clearly, a lot of these accounts, as you just mentioned, have been making lots of money off being flagrant, and not even from the U.S., which is just, we're sending money where the U.S. is subsidizing its own demise by paying out influencers from all these other countries.
Right. That's a great way of putting it, because the fact that people are in another country and they're either promoting like, this is my president or these are my policies or whatever. That, on a personal note, I don't really have too much of an issue with that. It might be kind of odd, but if you relate to it and you wish you were American or something and you're not here, but you want to support what's going on, fine. Everybody has a voice, but I think it is different when you've built this following, especially if it uses a lot of misinformation. Now, I don't know about these accounts in particular, but again, like if they go around saying, "Hey, everybody, I'm an American," and then they're clearly not, that's pretty blatant misinformation. So yeah, exactly. To subsidize our own demise, not only does that rhyme, but it's a really, I think, great point, because all of this leads to building these echo chambers and stirring people into a frenzy when we should be united and saying like, hey, if we have things that we need to sort out, we need to sort them out amongst ourselves. We shouldn't be letting foreign powers or other countries stoke the flames, because this is an internal thing that we need to sort out amongst ourselves. So yeah, it's definitely interesting to see, because this whole feature, as far as I'm aware, was created specifically to combat like these bot accounts and to out these bot accounts as being frauds. And so for it to start affecting so many prominent influencers is very interesting.
It's almost like it's working all too well. And I don't know if you remember the story earlier this year of those prominent journalists. I think it was like 3 or 4 journalists. Benny Johnson was one. There were a couple others that were exposed for having monetary links to a Russian organization
Yeah,
that
Tim
would
Pool.
actually. Tim Pool was another one. Yeah. So all this, and going back to 2016, like you mentioned, with Trump being sort of in bed with Putin a little bit, it seems like there's been a lot of effort on the part of the right to kind of whitewash these claims of being tied to Russia and foreign intervention. When we have proof coming out, I mean, actual proof of like, no, these aren't just claims. With the story from earlier this year, they're actually being paid directly or through a third party company, and in this case, their accounts are literally from these other countries. So these weren't hoaxes, as Donald Trump says, and nor much of what he says is true. But this is proof that this was not a hoax, and these accounts are being exposed as we speak. And I'm really curious on the fallout of it from here. Like, are these accounts? I did notice some that I researched actually were banned. Like when you go to their account after they were ousted, it says this account has been suspended. Others changed their name and they kind of rebranded because they got exposed. So they're like not quite doing the whole MAGA thing anymore, but now they're trying to like capitalize on something else. But it just shows you like they were exposed for doing something that was either fake or it was just paid performance. And now they're just moving on to other things that they can, suck money from and continue their grift.
Yeah, I found the most interesting thing that I saw in the screenshots that you were sharing, or the pages you were sharing, is one named Tom Homan News. Now, Tom Homan is the leader of Trump's like not immigration policy, but he's the main enforcer behind, I want to say, ICE, if I'm not mistaken. Um, so the fact that like this guy represents literally like removing foreigners from America, is being represented by a foreigner, is just like chef's kiss irony there. Also, something else that I wanted to talk about, like with these journalists receiving, outside money, or being paid by Russia and things like that. Don't forget, the Trump administration also has direct ties to that too. Tulsi Gabbard, she's got like Russian connections. And then there's also, I believe, Kash Patel, I believe, was featured in like an RT documentary where he was paid like several tens of thousands of dollars. So there's definitely links to this administration from abroad, and that's not even touching like APAC and all of their foreign influence as well. That happens not just to this administration, but Congress as a whole. So to think that like foreign countries are simply just doing their own thing and there isn't all this like cloak and dagger, like, espionage level stuff going on, not necessarily that people are spying, but more so that there's just all this misinformation, disinformation being thrown out there. So to me, I guess the silver lining here is that I just want to see people get more literate when it comes to, you know, keeping track of information. This is something that, as we advance in the age of AI, especially, but just in general with social media and you know, how people can manipulate screenshots, they can manipulate videos. We need to be on guard for this, and I think it's important for people not to sink their teeth in and draw a line in the sand quickly. And we need to do that as well, obviously. But I think that that's what I want to see, is that hopefully people will be less inclined to get caught up in these echo chambers to begin with, because hopefully they'll realize like this could be coming from outside. This might not even be something I want to listen to. So
Well, I think this definitely did some permanent damage to a lot of those accounts on X because some of them are real people just from other countries, like the Joey Mannarino one. I don't think too many people knew that he was European and he had like very, very strong opinions about what's going on with US elections. But also, a lot of them were just fake accounts. They're just bot accounts trying to monetize the system. So, you know, there's the two leagues of like legit account but foreign, and fake account doesn't even matter if it's foreign or not. It's a fake bot account. It should be banned. So it'll be interesting to see the fallout from this. If X kind of steps up its sort of game on verifying where accounts are from, maybe before issuing the verification mark, maybe they might make that a bit more strict. We'll have to see how this all plays out, but super interesting chaos erupting over on X as usual. And we just did a story on the DHS account being potentially from Israel. So if you guys haven't checked that out, I'll link it to you guys right here. And we'll keep you updated as things evolve, because this seems to be pretty much breaking news from just yesterday, the day before. And we're going to be monitoring the story and giving you guys updates as we go.